Good morning, everybody. We are the Talking Hats. We're back joining you here after a week-long hiatus, celebrating Mother's Day. Just took a break there, and we are back. Lots of sports things took place in that week we were off, and we've got, of course, a lot to get into as always. And as always, we're going to kick things off with the NFL here. Let me get us introduced here. I'm Dale, that's Harish, and we are the Talking Hats. We're going to start things off with a situation that's been going on out here in Colorado with Jerry Jeudy and him getting arrested. What was that, 2 days ago now? I think it was Thursday morning.
Yeah, a couple of days ago.
So I will kick things over to you to get that discussion started, and then I'll weigh in with my thoughts too on what's going on with that.
See, when I first read it, I was just like, okay, maybe it's just another domestic issue that something kind of like it just kind of probably got blown out of proportion. But when you kind of read into it, they're like saying that some serious like allegations on him. So I'm like wondering, I'm like what are these allegations, number one? And I think we are in this day and age, we're too quick to place judgment on individuals. We don't know the whole story. Like we only got like excerpts and it says Jerry Jeudy arrested by sheriffs at such and such time, and we all like, oh my God, what happened? And how does that affect Russell Wilson now? How does that affect the team? But the way I look at it is now after the Deshaun Watson incident, you have to let the courts play the court. Like you have to just let it play out. We cannot be judge, jury, and execution for something that we don't know the true facts on. So let it play out. And Denver, I think we'll be fine. I mean, and this could just be noise in the background that, hopefully it's not as serious as they're making it out to be. But I just feel that I think the news was too quick kind of to paint him the bad guy. And I was kind of disturbed by that. But that's
I agree wholeheartedly on your last point there about how everybody's jumping to conclusions. When I saw the news break on Twitter, as everything pretty much breaks on Twitter, and there was a lot of hot takes as soon as the news broke about beating his girlfriend and all this stuff, and lots of just ignorant nonsense, probably due to the fact that he's black. He has long dreads, so people jump to the worst possible scenarios when it comes to situations involving black men. Everything I've heard about it though is this is a nothing burger. Probably honestly some overzealous cops just wanting to get in the news, to get in the story. Arapahoe Sheriff's Department just wanting to have something newsworthy to talk about or something. I don't know. Everything I've heard about the situation though is it's really nothing. And to shed some credence on that, he was released, and then there's no contact order with the victim. Like he can be in their presence, he can talk to her, like no restrictions at all. So that if there was any seriousness to the allegations, there's always a no contact order when there's a domestic violence scenario. So that shows that this was really nothing. I don't expect anything to come of it. His lawyers have immediately they came out and said it was nothing. That always happens anyway. But everything I've heard about Jerry Jeudy, I don't know him, I've never met him, but everything I've heard about him, when I heard the story, I was like, this can't be anything. He just, what is that type of guy? Until, who's that type of guy until anybody does anything like that? But everything I've heard about him is that's just not him. That's just a serious domestic violence situation. Is not something that I could see him being involved in. So when I heard it, I was immediately skeptical. I didn't jump to the same conclusions everybody else did. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. The sheriff's department, even in their tweet release, said innocent until proven guilty. That's how it should be anyway. But definitely in this scenario, I don't think this is anything. I don't see anything coming of it. It'll be like one of those stories that broke and then it'll vanish. Nobody will know what happened.
It's like that incident that happened with Michael Phelps a long time ago, where he was there smoking some marijuana with a bunch of kids and he got arrested. And then, come on. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like that sheriff's department or the police department there will just wanted to, get on the publicity side of news. Oh, we have Michael Phelps and something, and it's just like I understand you have to do a job, but don't overzealous yourself, because in the end, that's your credibility on the line now. Now, if you're going to say all that and it bites you in the butt, your credibility is ruined. No one's going to believe you, even for something like this now, because now when a real domestic issue happens and you're putting out a news report or something, no one's going to believe you at that point. Like, okay, like then what are you hiding? Is this just something you just jump on to get back into the news? So it cuts both ways, and I think it's scary now because. And no one can make a mistake. Like no one can really until it's like we are the judge, jury, and execution when the news writes it, and they don't have the full facts yet. And that's the sad thing. And I think, as you stated, you said it beautifully, is let's wait. It's really nothing. I mean, if they had something, the lawyers won't come out like that and say it very quickly.
And if it was something like I said, there would be a no contact order. That
exactly.
Always happens.
Mm-hmm. And there'll be a protective order.
Right. There's nothing like that. So
yeah, and you have to question. It's like if there's no protective order in a domestic violence thing, how serious is what the claims you're stating? Because if he really did what he did, he would not be able to go within 100 yards of that individual.
Yeah, and I don't know the real story or anything. Some crap I've seen on the internet. You never know what you can believe. Exactly. But something I saw it was as simple as he wouldn't give her a phone back and somebody called the police.
Oh Jesus!
That's what I'm hearing. All it was. I don't know the real story. We'll have to wait to see if somebody comes out and puts something out there. But if that's all, I mean, that's not an issue. Like, no. I don't think I've ever done that, but I searching through my 42-year history, there may have been a point when I've gotten mad at a girlfriend or something and not giving her a phone or something. I don't know that I've done that, but that's not beyond that. When you think of something like that, that's just normal things couples go through.
Yeah, and the thing is, if he just said, "I'm not giving your phone back" or "I'm not doing anything," like if he everybody has their own issues, right?
I'm not condoning anything like that. I don't think I've ever done it. I wouldn't do that. But that's not first of all, that's not domestic violence. It's a disagreement. You might want to consider, where this relationship is going after that.
Right.
That the police shouldn't be involved in something like that. That's an in-house situation that should stay in-house. That's all. That's really all I've got on that one.
And I agree with you. I mean, it's something that I honestly believe that I think it got blown out of proportion. People jumped the gun on certain situations, and then all of a sudden they riled up a story like a hornet's nest, and people are just running with something that's not truly factual yet. So we just don't know, and people shouldn't be.
And don't take this as we're dismissing domestic violence by any means.
Not at all.
If it's ever a situation like that, we believe women. We support women. We're not two misogynistic guys on here being pig-headed and thinking, "Oh, women always make this." Not at all. If there was anything to this, we'd be all over supporting women and domestic violence issues. That's not us.
No.
So
and the thing is,
don't get it mistaken.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. It's just that the facts don't align up with people's stories. So it's like, let's wait for this. Let's wait for it to come out, and then we can pass judgment. Do not pass judgment before, because something of the other people, they just ran with the story, unfortunately, and he got blown up by NFL Network and NFL stuff. So we're just bringing you the story of what we feel that can happen.
Giving you our opinion on the story.
Giving your opinion on the story. So
yep. So we're gonna switch gears completely. So we're gonna take a quick break and then get into the NFL schedule release with the Commanders and the Broncos. We're gonna leave with the Commanders though. We'll be right back. We are back from the break here at Talking Hats. We're going to get right into the Commanders schedule here. And we're going to, first of all, do our top 5 games that we're looking forward to. We might have some common interest there on those games. So we'll see. We haven't talked about it. So I'll have to see how that runs down, what each of our top 5 are there. And then we're going to predict their record, just an early prediction on how things are going to play out this season. So let's get right into it. Harish, what are your top 5 games you're looking forward to the most this season from the Commanders?
I think the first 4 weeks are important to me. Yeah. I mean, right out of the gate.
That's a tough start there.
Yeah. I mean, because last year the Jaguars were a pushover team. And with all that turmoil that happened behind the scenes with Urban Meyer, Shah Khan, and all that nonsense, now the noise is out, and they got a pretty decent coach. Doug Peterson has won a Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Proven coach.
Yeah, he's a damn well good coach. But this is also a measuring stick for Trevor Lawrence too, to see how he has progressed since last year. And it's also going to prove to Carson Wentz is, can he beat a team that had the number 1 pick, who we kind of had our doubts on why they chose the individual from Georgia. I can't remember his name right now because it's
Traylon Edwards. No,
Traylon,
that's the receiver. Traylon Burks is the receiver. It's
yeah.
dang it. I think his last is it Edwards? Okay, I'm not gonna get lost in the weeds on it.
Yeah.
We know who we're talking about. The number one pick pass rusher from Georgia. We know who we're talking about.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a measuring stick for the season, is because we have a veteran team that's proven on defense, but it also has to be proven again because we get now Chase Young is coming back from injury. You have Montez Sweat. You lost two huge pieces in Ioannidis and Tim Settle, and you've picked up a couple of defensive individuals on the defensive side of things. And you get to see Jahan Dotson play his very first game and to see if he's because we called him the sleeper pick. So I think I think we both said I think he's the best receiver in that class. I mean, people can disagree with us, but the film speaks for itself. So we can kind of see,
I don't know if he's the best receiver. I know he's who they wanted. So I'll give them credit for that.
I'm going to call him the best receiver because I just have a feeling that everybody else has too much pressure on them. So they're going to kind of, I mean, they're good. I'm not taking anything away. It's just that they will be put in a position that they have to succeed. They have to. Dotson, in a way,
not to break down the NFL draft again, but I actually think Olave is in the best situation. He's got Michael Thomas.
Oh, that's also see. It's almost like playoff. Yeah.
And breaking news this week, they picked up Jarvis Landry, so he has no pressure on him down there. Yep.
Oh, okay, then that's a different story.
Saints got Jarvis Landry.
So what you said is actually true. Did that trade help the Commanders, or was that trade a different way that goes? Because they could have got him at a number 11. So, or is it a wash? Olave, right? Because now Olave has, if he has Jarvis Landry on the team now, and then Jahan Dotson has, the other players, the other pieces around him. Is it a wash? Like both players are so great that, they help both teams, or is one going to be like seesawing back and forth?
It really depends on how Dotson. I think Dotson is in the position to get more targets because Terry McLaurin is going to draw so much attention that Dotson should be. He should be receiver one, barring injury or anything like that. It's there for the taking for him. Now down there in New Orleans, Jameis slings the ball. He gets it out there, so there should be plenty of targets for everybody going around. But he'll be the third receiver. Michael Thomas, if he comes back healthy, he's number one. Jarvis Landry is a target monster at number two, and then Olave just sitting there, no pressure at three. So he might not get all the targets, but he should be able to make plays anyway because Jameis does sling it.
And he'll be. I think Olave will be the slot receiver in that situation.
They wouldn't play the Saints this year. I don't think that's not the division.
I don't think they. Not this year.
That would be cool to see. No, they don't. But.
That would have been awesome, actually. But then coming back to what I was saying is like that trade that they made. I think that the first game out the gate, you have to kind of tell them that we made the better pick. You have to get them off like you know what I'm saying. You have to throw them at least 10 passes in that game, at least 10 attempts to say that we made the right choice and we pulled the okie doke on New Orleans and everybody else. And we had the better player. So that's why I was stating that game is very important. The first game out the bat against the Jaguars is because that Jaguars team is going to be very prepared. They're not going to be the same Jaguars team as last year. So it's a proving point. It's not a measuring stick. It's a proving point that we are the best. And we can come in. You can come in here, but it's going to be a tough battle, and we'll win it out. My second game, the second week, is against the Lions, and they have Hutchinson, and they revamped that team in the draft. And we both stated that they had an amazing draft. So we're going to Detroit that day, on the 18th of September. So it's going to be rocking, socking, and that's I think Detroit's first home game. I think I'm not sure because they could be playing away or home, but. Whatever it is, it's going to be a hostile crowd, and that's going to be another measuring stick for Carson Wentz and the Commanders is if they can win on the road. Because that's not the same Detroit Lions team either. They have a whole new mentality. And then the third week is on the 25th. The Eagles are going to come back home they're going to come here to the Commanders and play and placing, I would say, like seeing his former team and how he reacts to certain situations, even though it's a home game, you still have animosity to the way they kind of dog them out of Philly. So We'll see. And also the first game is against Doug Peterson, the Super Bowl winning coach. So he may have some kind of griping on him too. So, and then of course, October 2nd is the Cowboys. That's always for me, like even that's the only thing I put my hat on at times. If they have a bad, if you can beat the Cowboys twice, but the one thing I forgot to mention, it's back-to-back divisional games and you got to win those. Because at the end of the day, if you go towards the end of the season and you have to have that tiebreaker, you rather have the tiebreaker in your division to make that extra step into the playoffs. So that's my pick.
And then that was 5?
Yeah. 1, 2, sorry.
4.
That's 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it was, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was only 4 weeks. Sorry.
And then number 5, drum roll. Your number 5 game you're looking forward to
is when they go to the Eagles on November 14th. Carson Wentz going back to Philly. Or dang it, I was about to say the Colts, but I'm like, I think the Philly one is a little bit more kind of sentimental to me, is because he was there for such a long time.
The Colts, there's no sentiment there. Are they going to Indy?
They're going to Indy. Yeah.
The fans might boo him, but it's not like there's a place in his heart there for one season and a one bad season.
Right.
So you're right to pick the Eagles game. That game doesn't matter, the Colts.
Yeah, and I think that game is more important than the first one when they're coming over to DC.
Division game, yeah.
Yeah. And because you're going to the place where he kind of, I have to say this though, but he built Philly to get to that Super Bowl. If he didn't get injured, I mean, I think there will be no Nick Foles. I mean, there would not be a Nick Foles and a quarterback controversy, and I think Carson would have still been in Philly even to this day if he didn't get injured. So I also, and I want to say one thing off the cusp. So those are my 5 games, top 5. Another one is the Vikings coming here. Kirk Cousins coming back to DC. Mm-hmm. I don't like Kirk Cousins, never have. Great guy. It's just how he kind of played the fan base a little bit about. I mean, it's a business. I understand that, but he could just been like, I ain't coming back.
Yeah, that's your number 6 game. I have that game in my top 5. And as a matter of fact, I'll put that at number 5. Kirk. It's Kirk Cousins' revenge game. I expect him to play pretty well in that game. I'm sure he still holds some animosity despite the fact that he robbed the team the last 3 seasons or so. He was on those 1-year deals or whatever. I think he'll come back and play well against them, because I don't expect them to be a playoff team, the Commanders. I don't know what to expect from the defense. If Chase Young can come back and be the guy that everybody thought he was, then they're going to be a playoff team. They'll be in contention for everything if he's that guy, because the defense is what makes the team go. You can't think that making the Carson Wentz moves makes them a playoff contender. It doesn't. I mean, that's not him anymore. He's just not that guy anymore. So the team will have to be carried by the defense, and that's only going to happen if Chase Young is Chase Young. Outside of that, I don't. First of all, I don't see that. Secondly, I don't see them being a playoff team. So I expect the Vikings to come in and take care of business in FedEx Field. So that's my number 5 game. Number 4, like you had the Carson Wentz return to Philly. That's the Skins. That's the Commanders' only primetime game, and that surprised me that they only have one primetime game. That's their one primetime game, though. Monday Night Football in Philly. What's the other one?
Chicago.
Oh, Thursday night. Oh, yeah. I saw that. Thursday night games are so. I hate Thursday night football. You never know what to expect in those games because it's a short week. Some guys don't even take those games seriously because you don't even get to game plan. That would not be in my top 5 games to watch, though. Chicago's going to suck and the Commanders are going to suck. That's not must-see TV for me. I don't really care about that game at all. But the Philly game, that's going to be huge, and that's my number 4 game. Carson Wentz going back there. Can he handle the pressure of going back to Philly? I actually think maybe. I think when revenge is on your mind, it kind of changes things. He doesn't like the way things were handled there at the end, getting benched for Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to try to go there and return to his MVP form. Pressing might get him into trouble, but I don't see that. I think he'll actually play very well. And I think they'll win in a game that might not even be close. That's my prediction on that one.
You're saying there's going to be a blowout in Philly.
And the thing is I think Philly's going to be a playoff team. They've got a lot of weapons, and they've got a solid quarterback in Jalen Hurts. I'm going out there on that. I think Philly's a playoff team. I think they might be the best team in the division, and I've said that before. But I think the Commanders will win that game now. My number 3 game, let's see, Green Bay. The Green Bay game, I expect them to win that because I don't expect Green Bay to be good. I predicted they would not be a playoff team, and I don't think they will be. It's in Landover, it's Landover, right? It used to be Raleigh-John, but it's Landover. They're in Maryland. It's there. So I think the Commanders will take that one. I don't expect Green Bay to be good. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be under pressure all game. He doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. Sammy Watkins probably won't play in the game because he plays like 5 games a season, if that. So Commanders will get that one. And then that was 3.
Yes, 3. Yeah.
My number 2 game is Detroit. That's one we have in common. Okay. I'm looking forward to it because I think Detroit's going to be much better. I predict that they'll be a playoff team. I think that game could be, despite the fact that both teams should have solid defenses, that game could be a shootout. Goff has some weapons there in Detroit. Carson Wentz has some weapons too. I think that'll be a highly entertaining game. I'm really looking forward to it. My number 1 game is the final game of the regular season versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Because first of all, it's a division game. It's Commanders Cowboys. Always, that's the biggest rivalry in sports. It used to be. It used to matter. This game, I don't expect the Commanders to be a playoff team. Dallas should be. If the Commanders are in the running, though, this game could be huge. It could come down to whoever wins this game gets in. And if that's the case, that's must-see TV. That's why they haven't even chosen the time for it yet. They do have 2 primetime games. This could be flexed into it because if it has any importance, then it will be. And that's my number 1 game that I'm looking forward to.
So what's your prediction on their record?
So I said not a playoff team. If things go if the defense looks like they finished the season not so bad, but I think they need to step it up even a level over that to be a playoff team. I don't see that. I wouldn't be surprised if this is it for Ron Rivera. So I'm gonna go 7-10.
7-10.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm a little bit.
And if that's the case, that's it. That's it for the Rivera regime and the Martys.
I have a little. I think so. I'm split on this because I feel that if I go with my gut, I will say that they'll be a playoff team because I don't foresee them because Carson Wentz he's not a game manager, but he's not a world beater either. He's in that that gray area where on days you love him and on days you hate him, right? But he can still win a game for you. And I also think he has better talent in DC than he did in Indy. I think he has a little bit better talent. Yeah, a little bit better. After
this, we're going to have to talk about
that. Just a little. Well, I mean, because if you look at it, right? Like, I mean, I just feel that the talent that's around him now, he can get it done. He has a lot more options to go to. Indy was a run-heavy team.
We're going to talk about
that. And I think the defense, I think Chase Young, I mean, if he's determined to do what he needs to do and not listen to the outside noise and just focus on his capabilities and his skill set, the sky is the limit. And I think they drafted really well on the defensive side in the later rounds. They're saying that Percy Butler is a crazy talent that is actually going to be starting day one on the defensive side of things. They have a lot of good pieces to put together on the cornerback area. So I see that they're going like maybe 10-6, 10-7. They have that extra game. So
10-7 playoffs, 10-7.
Yeah, 10-7 playoffs. Why do we have 10 minutes left? Oh,
no idea. I don't know what that's about. I will ignore that for now. We'll see what happens. If we do get cut off, then we'll jump back in with a new meeting. We shouldn't, though. But anyway, like I said, we're going to talk about that as far as talent levels on the two teams. I think the Colts had a vastly superior roster to the Commanders. Their defense was, if it had to be top 10, it might have been top 5. And then their offensive line was the best in football. They had Jonathan Taylor, who was the best running back in football. Michael Pittman on the receiver, and then they had T.Y. Hilton was there here and there, and they had another receiver too that I can't pull right now. They also had solid tight end play. Their roster they had a great roster. They only had a hole at quarterback, just like the Commanders. So the Commanders' offensive line was not on Indy's level. Their defense definitely wasn't. So I disagree with the fact that the Commanders have a better roster. Even this season coming up, I don't think so.
I just feel that what they had to work with last year with all the injuries going on the O-line, they played to that capability. And some of the things that happened with Carson Wentz, yes, it was his fault that they lost to Jacksonville, or the coaching staff's kind of thing.
Well, he missed a game that they lost. And if he played in that game,
they would have won.
All he had to do is get a vaccine. But I'm not going to get into that. But if he played in that game and they won, then it doesn't come down to Jacksonville at the end. So
right. So
he cost them the playoffs.
Yeah, I think I'm being a homer because
we'll have a chance to see it this season because they play each other.
Exactly, 100%.
Do you think Indy's the playoff team?
Ooh, yeah, because they got Matty Ice. How could you not be a playoff team with that individual? That guy. Yeah, exactly. Well, did they have to? With all the talent you just described, if he's not the end all be all quarterback for them, then I don't know what is. Like, who else can you fit in there? Matty Ice has been very consistent in his career. So unfortunately, the Falcons never built around him after that loss in the Super Bowl. They tried, and they failed horribly. They played miserably, and now he has an opportunity to win.
That division is Indy, Texans, Titans, and who?
Indy, Texans, Titans. They're in the NFC West, right?
No.
Or AFC West?
No, that's Denver Chargers.
That's Denver. Oh, sorry. They have so many.
Central, maybe? AFC Central? Let's see. Bear with us, guys. We're on the fly here.
AFC Central. No, because that's the Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and Jets.
No, that's the East.
Is that the East? Oh, dang it. Google. All right, hold on. Yeah, the AFC South. Titans, Colts, Texas, Jaguars.
See, so I said this before too, that I expect Indy to win that division, even with the Titans in it, because people are hating. I'm not a Tannehill hater, but I think Indy did enough to catapult themselves over the top, over the Titans. And then Titans, they lost AJ Brown, and they drafted Treylon Burks, but he's a rookie. You don't know what to expect there. The Titans should be a playoff team, but I don't expect them to win the division. I'm picking Indy to win that division, so they'll be improved. That's what I see.
I think the Titans will still win that division. That's for them to lose, even with Tannehill. Because their offense goes through Derrick Henry. That's the offense goes through him. So, and if Vrabel has not learned his mistakes from that previous playoff loss, then he may be in the hot seat this year if he does improve because me in Tennessee, I was rooting for them hard, and when they lost, I was like, okay, I was pretty pissed. Because I was like, if you and Tannehill, what he said about Malik Williams, they drafted Malik Williams, no,
Malik Willis,
yeah. What he said, that shows to me what kind of person he is. I understand that, if you're not want to be a mentor to the kid, but you're not it's your fault. They drafted the quarterback because you couldn't do it. So
along those lines, they drafted a quarterback, but what was he, 4th round or something? 5th, maybe?
Yeah.
If you're a starting quarterback in the NFL and a team drafts even anything after the 2nd round, if a team drafts a quarterback anywhere after the 2nd round and you see that person as a legitimate threat, then at that point you should just go ahead and retire. You shouldn't even have in your mind, no, I'm not going to mentor that guy, or it's not my job to mentor that guy. If you say something like that, it's because you see that person as a threat. And if you see somebody who's drafted in the later rounds as a threat, then you've already lost the room. You've already lost your job, really. You should have the confidence as a starting quarterback in the NFL to not feel threatened by really even a 1st round pick. If I'm a starting quarterback and my team drafts a quarterback in the 1st round, I'm thinking in my mind, this dude is going to be sitting for a few years. This is my job. And you're going to have to take it, and you're not going to take it. And he doesn't seem to have that kind of confidence, even though I believe in him. Maybe he doesn't believe in himself. So I don't get that statement. And I'm wondering if maybe he just, like, the way he said it was wrong. He didn't really mean it that way, because no, it's not technically his job to mentor Malik Willis. And those were the words he used. And maybe he just meant it that way. It's my job to go out and be quarterback and win games. That's his job. It's not his job to mentor Malik Willis, but just as a good person, you should try to acclimate the rookie to the NFL. All guys have done it. My brother and Keenan Allen put out a tweet thanking the guys who mentored him when he was coming in, and my brother's name was on the list of receivers who helped him out. That's just what happens in the league. Eddie had Brandon Stokely and Darrell. There were some other veterans on that team that helped him acclimate to the league when he came in. That's just how it goes. And nobody says it's your job. It's just right. As a good person, you help the rookies, you haze them, and then you help them get acclimated to the job. Yeah. It's not anybody's job. It's just what happens.
It's almost like you can be a good mentor, right? Like you can tell that, hey, this is not like, because it rubs me the wrong way, because in our jobs that we do besides this show is almost like, hey, you have to have somebody take underneath your wing and show you the ropes, the correct way of doing things, and eventually you want to see them succeed. And being a fourth rounder, Malik Williams' future is, we don't know that, because he can, like, after training camp, they can cut him too, but they're not going to. But
I fully expect Malik Willis to be the starting quarterback of the Tennessee Titans next season.
I totally agree with you, because I am a Tannehill poo-pooer. I never liked him. He always loses the games for them, just like how Carson Wentz, as you stated. I just feel that if you put the ball in his hands,
Tannehill is compared to Carson Wentz, Tannehill is elite.
Oh, God, no.
Carson Wentz, he has been a trash quarterback. He might turn it around this season. I don't see that, though.
I don't know, because he lost the game for them. He threw 2 interceptions that, like, you scratch your head on.
He threw 3 picks.
Yeah, he threw 3
He played
picks.
a bad game. But the thing is he cared that he played a bad game. And I believe that he's going to do everything he can to go out and be better next season. He really took that hard. It's not like I threw 3 picks, we lost the game, and I'm going to vacation.
Right.
They really hit him hard. And he plays like he cares. That's why I believe in him. I don't see him as a guy who just goes, I'm out here playing football, getting money. He's never, to me, he's never been that guy. Even in a trash situation with Gase in Miami, I still believe Tannehill cared. So that's why I like him.
That makes sense. I think that loss really got to me, because I was all in.
Will Sam Howell play this season?
Ooh, see, if he will play this season only if Wentz screws up royally. I mean, he has to screw up royally to see a Sam Howell sighting. So
if you're saying that, what you're really saying in subtext there, what you're saying is you expect Heineke to get traded.
Yep. I mean, I would have traded him during the draft. Like, I mean, unfortunately, I liked Heineke. I liked what he did, but he's not a starter in this league. And it proves
he is a backup in the league, though.
He is a backup in the league, but he does have a lot of deficiencies. So I think the Commanders kind of made a blunder they could have gotten more picks if they traded him, and they could have gotten a little bit more for the bang for the buck, because he is a proven backup. So you do need a proven backup. So
Tolu, shout out to Tolu at Dark Meat Hook on Twitter. Tolu tweeted us at the Talking Hats on Twitter. Follow us, like, subscribe, support. Tolu tweeted us and said that Heineke, nobody's going to trade for Heineke because everybody knows what he is. Nobody's going to give up a pick for him. I disagree with that. I said that since he's a proven backup and his contract is team friendly, I mean, it's not anything that's going to break anybody's bank. Since his contract is friendly and he's a proven backup, why would a team not give up a 6th or 7th round pick for him? You do that, and you got a guy you can count on if your guy goes down. And as a matter of fact, it might not happen before the season, but some quarterbacks every year it happens where a quarterback